This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 on a Tuesday morning, ready to rock and roll. Kyan Brown, Omaha assistant basketball coach, joining us in about a half hour. The first place Mavericks get set. They've got South Dakota coming up tomorrow. We featured in our Best of the Weekend our next guest, who has been part of Horace's standout boys basketball team for the last couple of years. The Hawks sit in third place in the EDC standings. They got high hopes to make a first trip to the state tournament, which is in Fargo, coming up in about 6 weeks. And just a couple days ago, young man got an offer to play Division I basketball at North Dakota State. Carter Evanson is his name, and he joins us here. We're getting him out of class on this Tuesday morning. We were just joking off air since you made it public. Your phone has been blowing up. Tell me about that. What's been the response over the last couple days?
It's been a lot of like congratulations and a lot of like hard work's paid off a lot, and yeah, everyone's happy for me, so that's good to know. And yeah, a lot of congratulations and stuff.
All right, so give us the backstory here. How did this all come about? Was Coach Richmond at practice? Was it a phone call? Give us the whole story.
Okay, so I was on my way to eat with my friends Thursday, and Spencer, the assistant, Spencer Wilco, gave me a phone call and said, "Hey man, we'd love to have your family out at 10 a.m. before the UND game for like a meeting." So I was like, okay. So I tell my mom and dad that, and they're like, "Oh, what could this be about?" And then my head coach Kyle Cummings said he'll be there too. So I didn't know what to expect from there. And then yeah, so we got there at like 10 a.m. for the UND game. Went to the conference room and we talked about this and that and like the culture and what he expects me as a player. And then he kind of got to the conclusion and offered me a scholarship.
And your reaction there was what?
I was shocked. Like I was trying to hold back tears, honestly, because that was like, it's been my dream to get a Division I scholarship like that. And NDSU was like big to me. It's in my hometown. I've like followed them my whole life, always been a fan. So that's pretty big.
So you had no idea going in that might come out of it?
No, I was just thinking maybe just be like what can I do to get a scholarship, or yeah, like a visit maybe, or yeah.
Had you known that they were interested or they were following you at all?
Yeah, so Spencer, my first text was in October from Spencer, and it was like, "How are things going, buddy?" And it was like really like slow right away.
Yeah.
And then like normal, just like texting back and forth a little bit. And they started coming to a couple of my basketball games. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then yeah, just went from there.
So okay, so that happens. You leave and whatever. I mean, so that your mom and dad are there. What was that conversation like?
I don't know. They were shocked. Probably as much as I was, because they probably weren't expecting it yet. And yeah, I was really shocked, and I was trying to hold back tears.
So to have this now, I mean, this is validation. Someone believes you can play Division I basketball, and you mentioned this is a goal. You wanted to do that. To have that belief, what has that done? Like the last 2 days, confidence wise for you now?
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep going into every game with confidence. Like no one. I mean, I don't want to like change my game at all or anything like that. I just want to focus on like high school right now and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a big confidence booster knowing that like I can play at that level now. But yeah, I'm still trying to win games for Horace and stuff like that.
I want to get to your team here in a minute. You play every sport. So when did basketball, has it always been number one, or has that emerged over the last couple of years?
It's a funny story. So it's always been like, so I used to play basketball, baseball, and football. And then football is always like my third, but then baseball is my first.
Yeah.
Whole life. And then I love baseball. And then there was like 15U fall, I think, or 15U summer. I was playing baseball, and then one of my friends, Garrett Nisley from Bismarck, his dad reached out to me and asked me if I could play ECI for a tournament, just like play basketball because they needed a pickup. And I was like, yeah, of course. And then I played, and it was like the best time of my life. There was like 10 games going on at once, just basketball for days. It was amazing. So I put down baseball the next year and played AAUs, and then put down football for basketball. So I'm happy where I'm at.
That was it. That was the transformation from there, huh?
So, yeah. I give a lot of my props to Brad Nisley because he got me into AAU. So
was baseball a road that you thought you would go for college? Like that was the road you wanted to go down?
Yeah, like I was like, we'd go to like Kansas City and Arizona in the fall for football, and I'm like, I want to play college baseball. Like my dream was always like Vanderbilt, just because it's a cool team. But
Yep.
yeah, my dream was D1 baseball.
It's pretty abrupt change. Tell me about how each of those sports helped you with basketball now, or how did baseball help and vice versa, that each of these sports have made you a better all-around athlete?
Yeah, football definitely makes you a better athlete just because you're always running around, getting hit, trying to get around kids, agility, fast like that. So that helps for basketball. And then baseball, it's more like the mental part of it, just like staying like focused and like patience, honestly, because I don't have much patience.
Describe to have this happen. You're back at practice yesterday. Did the guys give you a hard time?
Little bit. They were like, if I like miss a shot, they'd be like, "Come on, you're better than that." I'm like, "All right, guys, I'm the same kid. I'm the same guy." Nothing about me, but yeah, they've been good to me, and I wouldn't be here without them. So
I got to ask about this past fall of what Horace did in football. How has that changed? Talking with both coaches, the boys basketball coach, football coach, the mentality around school that you guys won the state football championship. How have you noticed that in the last couple months since you guys won?
yeah, those guys, they're animals. Like those kids, like they know how to win games. So it's like nice seeing like Horace win football, and then the girls have always been good.
Yep.
And boys baseball went to state, and it's like we're up next. So we didn't like have something to prove, but we kind of do at the same time. So it's like we're the only team that hasn't like gone it yet. So we want to win and go to state.
Well, you'll bring it up, so I'll go there. You're 10-3. I know you lost a tough one to Davies the other night. You're sitting in third. You mentioned it. You've had all the other teams have made state. Boys basketball sitting there. State's in Fargo. Just what's it going to take for you guys to get over the hump and to make state this year?
Just one game at a time. We can't like look in the future. Like we can't be worried about Davies and the tougher teams right now in the EDC, but we have to worry about South today, then North Friday, and Cheyenne and West Fargo next week. Just one game at a time, and just like win each half.
Describe what Coach Cummings has brought in here since you've been there, and what he's done for the boys basketball team.
He's done a lot. He's always letting us go shoot in the gym all the time. He's always like listening to us. Like if you have any like things you want to like bring up or like assumptions about something, he always like take it to serious, and he always like help us with it. And then he's always talking to coaches for us. So yeah, that's big.
All right, so it's 6'3". When was your growth spurt? And is it done yet? People always want to know that. You're a junior. Have you still noticed, or are you still growing?
I mean, I hope it's not done because that'd be nice. But yeah, so my 8th grade year, I was at Liberty, Cheyenne, and I was like maybe 5'8", 5'9".
No kidding. Okay.
And then the lines got changed, so I had to go to Horace. So I wasn't like, honestly, I wasn't like too happy. I was kind of like mad that I go to Horace because I didn't like know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like as a new program and everything, but it all worked out. And I got freshman year at Horace, 5'11", 5'10", maybe like 6 foot on the roster just because it was cool. And then my freshman and sophomore year, I think was my biggest jump. I went from like 5'10", 5'11" to like 6'2". And then sophomore year to junior year, 6'3".
Where do you feel like you're most suited on the court? You like being out on the wing? You like driving to the basket? Give us your, the resume for you out on the floor.
Yeah, I like, so like if we're running a set, I like to like run like the 2 or 3, so like the wings. But like in transition, I think that's when I'm best, if I can get it and just pass it up or run the lanes and stuff like that. So I think like the wings are my favorite.
You mentioned here we're starting the second half of the season now.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see your guys' best ball still in front of you? What you have to do to get there for your best ball to come in March?
Just everyone knowing their roles like we've been doing. Davey's got a little, we kind of fell apart a little bit because I got a full court face guard and we haven't like practiced that at all. And some kids weren't hitting shots, which is okay. That's just basketball. We're all gonna have bad games, but if we all know our roles, just do our part. Don't do any extra stuff, and just do your part. I think we'll be best.
Now, you were already a marked guy on the floor anyway prior to what happened over the weekend. Does that change? You feel like tonight you're going to get doubled or tripled, or how do you handle that knowing maybe the spotlight is going to be a bit bigger now because you got a Division I basketball offer in your back pocket?
Yeah, I think if they like face guard me now, I can go set screens for my teammates because they're going to try to fight through that, and then I'll get them open, and then if they double, I'm just going to find the open guy because just as much as I like points, I like assists.
It's right now. It's what is it? January. You're a junior before your senior year. Do you have a timeline? Do you have anything like I want to make my mind up by blank?
I don't know. I really thought about that. I mean, Brady Westfall, he told me that he committed what was it like after AU season? I think that's
Yeah.
like the goal on that. Just because that's like the normal time. I don't want to be like too late or too early and get something switched up. I want to make sure it's the right fit.
What do you have planned then after the season's done for AU, and what do you have that mapped out yet, or is that still to come?
That's still to come, to be honest.
How exciting is it though to know that there's options out there? There's going to be other people now wanting, because once one's out there, probably know there's probably more coming.
Yeah, that's been my dream ever since I was a kid, just to like be like quote quote Division 1 basketball player. It's super cool, and everyone like whatever thinks you're cool or whatever. But yeah, it's always been my dream. So yeah.
Jaden obviously had that. Jaden Hallett was the first Division I girls basketball player at Horace. If you're to have that at Horace on the boys' side, what would that mean to you?
That would be crazy to me. Like that's obviously that's like my goal, but like I don't know. Gotta know like some things.
Especially because you thought it was going to be baseball, right?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. Like growing up thinking I'm gonna play or hoping to play D1 baseball, but switch to basketball, which is fine by me because that's my favorite.
What's the hardest you ever threw a baseball? You have it timed out?
Maybe like mid-70s. I was more of like a shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shortstop that's where the best athlete plays, though. Right?
Yeah.
That's the best athlete on the team plays shortstop, is always what I'm told.
Yeah, I was never like the biggest kid on the field, so they threw me to shortstop just to run around, get ground balls, and yeah.
What's your favorite diamond? Not at Hort. What's your favorite place to play in the state?
State, I don't know, but we played Ballparks of America down in Branson, Missouri.
Okay.
So it was like named after like MLB fields, like Wrigley Field and all those kinds.
That was pretty cool.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Hey, I appreciate the time. I don't want to get you in trouble. Get back to class. Thanks so much for doing this. Congrats, and we'll catch up down the road, okay?
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Carter Evanson from Horace High School, junior for the Hawks, who over the weekend, you heard the story, got an offer to play for North Dakota State and Dave Richmond's team. And again, you got to stay on top of what's happened in the backyard. Like you've met a couple of the high-profile football players that NDSU and UND are on from Castleton and Kindred. And Horace, I mean, they're all right now. Basically, they connect one another. How far south Horace goes to Kindred these days, but you got to get in early and be interested to see. He's a dynamite athlete. We've had highlights of him in baseball, in basketball, and a bit in football as well early on for Harvey McMahon's Horace Hawks football team. And now to watch him on basketball, that's a team. You look at the EDC race right now with Davies. And Claybo is in his own stratosphere. He's going to be the all-time points record holder here in the not-too-distant future. Red River's having a dynamite year in second. Horace sits in third in the standings right now in the EDC race as we come down the stretch. A little bit different. You know, we've gotten used to North and Cheyenne being on top. That's not the case this season. You know, West Fargo's got a good team. It's going to be really interesting to see the four teams, but I got to think that Horace is going to be in the mix at the Fargo Dome when we get to the state tournament coming up in mid-March. We thank Carter for his time here this morning. We'll break. Got a couple emails to get to, a couple other topics. We mentioned Kyan Brown will join us coming up at 10:35. Back on Hot Mic on this Tuesday morning. Back after this.